Now, so what you do is you work backwards.
People are very afraid or careful with third parties.
They say, oh, this happened in the past. It's like, not this water damage right here, it just rained yesterday.
Why your price is different when you start working with my insurance company?
But why are they generally wanting their roof replaced?
If you write an estimate, now if you work with insurance company.
Look, I think the number one thing is have integrity. You always have to have integrity. I mean, you just can't get around it.
Give one advice to contractor.
My number one,
not necessarily with the public adjusting, just with the claims. Like, let's say someone just starts in, doesn't understand insurance claims, doesn't understand the whole game. Yesterday, we're just writing estimates on a piece of paper. Today, like, I get this question a lot. I want to get an insurance game, and people are very afraid or careful with third parties. What can contractor do to understand insurance claim and start working with insurance companies?
Well, I think the number one thing is have integrity. You always have to have integrity. I mean, you just can't get around it. Okay, sure. You got to have integrity. And if you have integrity, then I would say try to outsource everything that you can to great companies that you've personally vetted.
Can they learn Xactimate on their own?
Yeah, but yeah, sure you can. I mean, but you know why really? Why? Because there's companies that do that. I mean, public adjusters do that kind of thing. And so I would say, you know, outsource everything you can and get really good at something. And you know,
I'm going to fight you on it a little bit, if you let me. Sure. There's integrity only as good as, like, okay, so if I'm a contractor, I have my definition of what's fair. So let's say today, let's say I've been in business for 3 years. Let's say my dad owns the company and now 3 years ago I took over. Okay. So let's say we charge $350 per square. Yeah. And that's for me what's fair. That's my integrity. Okay. The reason I ask this question because homeowners often, you know, when we start getting insurance claims, homeowners often start asking us why your price is different when you start working with my insurance company. Why don't you keep your $350? So let's say insurance now pays $450. How do you overcome that integrity or block or fair game block for yourself? So for you, fair price is $350. But if you write an estimate, now if you work with an insurance company, you can charge more. Isn't it? Do you see where I'm going with it?
Yeah, I do. I do see where you're going with that. Look, I think that, first of all, you shouldn't be, most jobs, I would say, are insurance jobs. Meaning, if you go to, unless it's a new construction, right? But if you take me to a house that needs a new roof, it most likely has wind damage of some sort. It's got broken tabs.
It has nothing. What is just old roof? 20-year-old roof?
If you take me to a 20-year-old roof, it's going to have damage. It's going to have damage.
So in your experience and your opinion, like every single house on the market should be insurance claim, paid by insurance? Almost.
I mean, basically, if you have, if somebody's just has plenty of money and they're like, look, I don't, you know, I have a shingle roof and you know, it's only 3 years old and nothing's wrong with it, and I want to upgrade to stainless steam metal roof. That's different.
Like my business is 50-50 about
retail versus insurance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't see how it's impossible for me to churn my retail 100% paid by insurance. I just don't see the damage, and we're looking for it. We have supplementary in house.
Right, but so like when you do retail, what is mostly repairs, right?
No, it's full siding, full replacement, everything.
Okay, but why are they generally wanting their roof replaced?
Outdated age, like for example, chimneys will be leaking because of the flashing, you know, around that.
But if you have a HO3 policy, okay, this is where insurance.
3 tabs, all of that stuff. I mean, if we have missing shingles, right, even if it's one, we're gonna start it.
But let me explain this to you. This is where public adjusting comes in, right? If you have an HO3 policy, which is the most common policy, okay, HO3, okay, it covers water damage on the inside of your house. So that chimney flashing that's leaking, okay, the water gets inside the house, it's covered. It's covered. Now, so what you do is you work backwards, okay? So say this is our living room, let's just say. We have drywall that's got water damage. You say, okay, this is covered, right, Mr. Dresser? Yes. Okay, so the drywall's got to come out, got all the inside content manipulation, got to mask everything, you know, all the plastic, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we got insulation above this, it's got to come out. Okay, now what about the roof decking? Because if the water came down and it damaged the insulation, damaged the drywall, what about the roof decking? Well, the roof decking has got to be covered, because why would you cover the drywall and not cover the roof decking? Even staining, cosmetic damage is covered unless they have a cosmetic exclusion. And so now you tear into the roof decking around the chimney or whatever. Now you've opened up the roof to be in an insurance claim. And now you have matching issues, or you have, you know, maybe the tiles discontinued.
What about product failures? What about CertainTeed Horizon? Roof is leaking because shingles failed.
99 times out of 100, when a shingle fails because of a product failure, it also has wind damage or some other sort of damage.
Yeah, they don't fail in a warehouse, but obviously on a real life condition.
But typically, you know, like.
Do you think, like, well, the question is, who should be liable to this? Should manufacturer be liable, or why is it insurance company liable for manufacturer? So if manufacturer sells the shingles that's supposed to last 25 years and fails after 5, why is it insurance claim?
Well, it depends, right? It depends on what's going on. But my stance typically is it's way easier for a homeowner to, because they have a contract with the insurance company, to file an insurance claim if there's wind damage to a roof or whatever damage to a roof than it is for them to go back to the roofer and the roofer go back to the manufacturer. If you have concurrent issues, concurrent causation of you have a manufacturer defect and you have wind damage. And look, you have to understand, wind damage could be, you have a 3-tab shingle and the wind blew it up, it blew debris underneath it, and it folded back down and halfway sealed, and that's it. It's like, guess what? That's wind damage, because you have debris, dirt, pine straw, whatever it is underneath there. That's wind damage. How do you fix that, right? And so when you have concurrent causation, what I say is file a claim on the insurance, let the insurance company subrogate to the manufacturer and say, look, you have insurance, you know, for your manufacturing defects and so forth, and we had to pay because you manufacture defects. Does it
happen often? That scenario you just described?
I think that subrogation happens often, but you know, maybe not that exact scenario, but subrogation.
So almost all claims.
The vast majority of claims I can find coverage for. I mean, I could take you to my house and find coverage for claims right now. I mean, I could take you to most houses and find coverage. You just got to know what you're looking for, and you got to know what's going on.
What about dates? So, like, for example, if like we deal with it, let's say we have a claim 4 years ago, and people did not take care of it, didn't file it, passed the date. So obviously they have leaks now. Now it's out of pocket.
Well, no, I mean it's not out of pocket. It depends on the state that you're in, of how far you can go back on the insurance claim and stuff like that. But you know, some states, like, you can go back 5 years or whatever.
Like in Minnesota, I think they give you like 1 or 2 years. So what happens if your homeowners don't do it and now you have leaks?
Well, you know, one question is, you know, when this arises, you have to understand that insurance policies typically only last for 1 year, okay, from the date it's issued to the 1 year later, right? And so the insurance company, I'm going to bore you with some insurance talk. When on the declarations page, okay, the insurance company is insuring the property that's described on the declaration page, and they're insuring the property that's described on the declaration page as a whole, okay, as a whole unit. And so that means they're insuring everything, including the roof, okay? And so they're taking a portion of that money that you're paying your premium is going toward insuring your roof, okay? If they think that your roof should not be covered because of a past event, then they need to tell you that and say, we can't renew your policy unless you fix this, because you have damage and our underwriting department says you're going to have to fix the damages. Once they take your premium, okay, then they're saying we're insuring your property as a whole, including your roof and everything else. And so when you have water damage that comes in the future, you say, I'm claiming the most recent water damage. That's what I'm claiming. And they say, oh, this happened in the past. It's like, not this water damage right here, it just rained yesterday.
I see.
So I'm claiming this. And so people don't understand, an insurance company can't deny something that you're not claiming. And they try that all the time, and it's smoke and mirrors, right? It's smoke and mirrors. So they say, oh, we're not, this is wear and tear and so forth. So I'm not claiming wear and tear. I'm claiming this specific water damage over here. You know, oh, your plumbing leak has gone on for more than 2 weeks, more than 14 days, so we're not paying it. So I'm not claiming day 15 and 16. I'm claiming all the damage that happened in the first 13 days. Why are you trying to deny something I'm not claiming?
Comment below, if you're a roofing contractor, what's the percentage of claims versus retail in your business?
If I'm a contractor, what's going to be? I would be almost exclusively insurance, and I would do repairs and stuff. If look, there's things where insurance claims don't need to be filed, right? There's legitimate even wind damage or whatever that would be a covered claim that don't need to be a claim doesn't need to be filed. Say you have a new roof and you have small damage and the roof is completely repairable, legitimately completely repairable. It's going to match up perfectly. Nobody's going to be able to tell, and it's going to be $1,200. No need to file a claim. It's retail. Go do the repair. Build your customer base and stuff like you preach, right? The stuff you're teaching, that's retail. But typically, it's not the case in real life. Typically, you go out there and the shingle is going to be a little bit different. The color is going to be a little bit faded. It's not going to match up. The mechanics of the tile isn't going to fit in like it did because they discontinued this over here. So they discontinued this, or this color's off, or whatever it is. And you say, okay, we need to file a claim and get the whole roof bought, get the interior. Maybe the decking's got to be brought up to code. You got to re-nail the roof decking, whatever. So I would say, but going back to what you asked about, the advice I would give to the roofers or contractors: have integrity and sub everything out that you can. Let people be the experts at what they do, and you be the expert at something very small, and build from there. And so what I would start out with, if I was a brand new roofer, is I would start out with getting roof jobs, like figuring out how to actually get the jobs, okay? And then I would do the jobs and do them very well. Everything else I would sub out.
If you're the roofing contractor and you want to be added to Roofing Insights family, check our online directory, roofinginsights.com/directory. We back up all roofers on our directory by $20,000 guarantee. We send you leads, and all the homeowners who come for us for advice are going to see your listing on our website.